Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We are back for another stream, and in this one, it is the team selection video for Game Week 32. It is a quick turnaround. As we know, Game Week 31 just finished last night. We're back to discussing Game Week 32, so we're going to get into it, guys. But yeah, how you been, Jordan? How's your week been?
Yeah, not so much great, obviously, last night, but it's improved today. I think I gotten over that Man United game, and now moving ahead to obviously Game Week 32, looking on the bright side of it. But yeah, it's been good so far.
Okay, so let's pull up what my team looks like. So let me just bench you, doggy. I'm probably going to play Gusto. I'm not sure yet, but the team selection won't waste too much of your time. Let's get into it. In goal, we've got Petrovic, who, has Sheffield away. We know Chelsea have just conceded 3 goals to Man United yesterday. Well, 4 goals, wasn't it? 3 goals.
3 goals.
Yeah, and obviously Chelsea come out 4-3 winners in the end. However, better fixture for Petrovic. Keller has got Man United on the bench, as you can see. So I think I'm going to go with the Chelsea goalkeeper and see what he does. I'm not sure how I feel about playing double Chelsea defense. I am going to start Gusto. I could start Udogie, who's got a nice game, I think, against Forest at home. So it's a bit of a benching headache. I'm not sure who to play. But I've gone Gusto because of the attacking threat. He's got Sheffield away. We'll see what he can do. 8 Nuri, 100% is going to start for me because he's got some attacking threat at the moment as well, because he's basically playing as a left winger right now. So I'm happy to keep him in the team. He's got West Ham at home, and I definitely think he can get something, especially after his goal in midweek. To complete the defense, I am starting Gabriel now. I would be tempted to start Udogie over Gabriel because I don't think Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet against Brighton. I just have a feeling that Brighton are going to score. I can't see a clean sheet for Arsenal, but I could be wrong. Obviously, Arsenal's defense has been strong this season so far. But I am tempted to bench Gabriel as well because I want to play the 3 attacking defenders. But Gabriel's ownership is so high. A lot of teams have Arsenal defenders, so that's the only reason why that's putting me against dropping Gabriel. Or obvious one move would be to drop Gabriel, in my opinion, because Udogie's got a home fixture against Forest.
Yeah, just touch on that as well. It's quite risky for Gabriel to be benched, even if they don't keep a clean sheet. It's Gabriel's aerial threat from corners that I think there'll be a lot of corners. I think in that Brighton game, where obviously Arsenal on the attack and then Gabriel's in the box. Potentially there could be an attack and return for me rather than a clean sheet. But in terms of over Udogie, I have no confidence in Udogie or any Spurs defender, even Pedro Porro, who looked like a bright asset. But again, that sort of flatlined for me as attacking threat. But yeah, I do see Nottingham Forest scoring against Spurs, but Gabriel could be a safe keep over him.
Yeah, I think Arsenal will concede. So I don't see a clean sheet for either team, if I'm being honest. But I know Udogie and Porro haven't really got many attacking returns recently, but I can see this changing in this game. I just have a feeling. I think Spurs could go big against Forest. I think the blank in the midweek, or not the blank, they drew at West Ham. But I think Son and etc. are good captaincy options this week. So I actually do favour Spurs against Forest. So that's why I'm sort of siding to Udogie. But it's the ownership that puts me off. Obviously, everyone's got an Arsenal defender, whether they're Saliba or Gabriel. But right now we've got Gabriel in there, but I could switch him out. Into the midfield 4, I'm fairly set on this midfield 4. I won't be changing. So Palmer, Saka, Son, Salah. Palmer, we know he got a hat-trick against Man United with a couple penalties. Again, he's got Sheffield away. I think it's a good fixture for him. Sheffield did, look like they could get a draw at one point against Liverpool, even though Liverpool did end up dominating that match, but they were hanging in there. So we'll have to see what they do. I mean, Palmer, he's got the vice captaincy on him at the moment. I will come on to captaincy in a sec. Saka and Son. Saka's flagged, but he should be fine for Brighton. So no worries there. Son, I actually think is quite underlooked this week. I think he could be a very good captaincy option. I know a lot of people are looking at Salah, Palmer, things like that. I think Son is right up there in terms of a captaincy option, and I wouldn't be surprised if even myself or other managers that do go Son in the end, because I just have a feeling that Spurs could do well against Forest. Then Salah, obviously, he's got Man United away on Sunday. Big game for Liverpool in the title race. Salah did come off the bench. Sorry, Salah went off to the bench, I should say, after 60 minutes last night. Wasn't carrying a knock or anything. It just was tactical. Klopp decided to take him off. So that's interesting. So he should be more fresh for that game. At the moment, he's my captain, but I don't think I'm going to go Salah captain. I think I'm going to go with Son or Palmer. It's probably going to be one of them. I'm undecided right now because Salah has a fantastic record against Man United, but I'm not sure if I will go Salah. I think I'm tempted more Son or Palmer, but we'll have to see what I do in a deadline stream tomorrow. Front three is what it is. It's Haaland against Palace. I think Haaland's a good option as well if you want to go captaincy because he's going to be a differential, I think, this week. I think not many people will go Haaland. I think against Palace away, when a Man City are also in the title race, they need to win, and I expect Haaland to go big in that one as well because he's going to be back in the lineup after his benching midweek. Isak, he's done really well so far for me recently, getting him in the wild card. He's had a bit of a goal scoring form of recent time, and obviously he's got Fulham away. I think it's a good fixture for him. I'm happy to see what he can do against that Fulham defense, and I'm happy to own him as well for the longer term. And to complete the team, I've got Darwin, who did score last night with a bit of a luck, but I think he deserves it with some of the chances he's had. He's not scored, but yeah, I'm excited to own Darwin against Man United. He should start. I know he played 90 minutes last night, but he's Liverpool's main man, so I expect him to start and lead the line up front. So that's the 11. On the bench, I've got Kelleher. I've got Udogie, who I've mentioned is a bit of a benching headache for me. I am tempted to play him. Garnacho, who did score 2 goals last night against Chelsea. He's on the bench. He's got Liverpool at home, which is a tough fixture. And then Van Heck, I've got him third bench because I do expect Brighton to concede against Arsenal. I have one free transfer as well in the bank, and I've got 0.6 million. But I think I'm gonna roll. I think it's the obvious move for my team. I don't really need any transfers in my opinion. I'm quite happy with the way I'm looking, with the team to set up. I've just wildcarded, so rolling makes sense ahead of game week 33, where I'll have 2 free transfers, and I'll probably take a risk then ahead of my free hit in 34. So yeah, that's the plan, guys. I'm gonna roll the transfer. Captaincy wise, I'm looking at Son or Palmer. But yeah, that will be decided in due course. So that's the team. Let me know what you guys think about my team. I'm rolling, and let me know what you guys are doing in the comments as well. Let us know in the chat. And also, guys, make sure you are hitting that like button when you're coming into the stream. And also make sure you are subscribed as well so you don't miss out on any content. Jordan, same for you. What's your team looking like? Setup wise, go through your 11. And then also your transfer plans and captaincy as well.
Yeah, so this is how my team is lined up for game week 32. So in goal, I do have Leno, who has Newcastle at home, and I haven't really got much choice because Ariella is out. He's red flagged for that Wolves away fixture, which he won't play. It will be Fabianski, so sorry, it will be Leno in goal against Newcastle. I'm not a great fixture to play him against, but you never know. You might get a shock, but I'm not expecting much from him in goal for that fixture. So let's move on to the back three, and I think these back three have better fixtures. As it has been a while since I've had decent defenders who've got me clean sheets, but Doughty has Bournemouth at home. It's nice to see him back from his worrying doubt in terms of injury, but he's no longer flagged and he should play against Bournemouth at home. Whether I see a clean sheet or not, I brought Doughty in for the attacking threat because of the assists he can provide for Luton, but it has been a bit quiet in recent game weeks for that. But yeah, hopefully he can turn it around in that fixture. Next defender, I've got Brantford, who's got Burnley at home, and I think this is a good fixture for Everton in terms of keeping out of that relegation battle and just making it through this season. So it's a very important game, I think, for obviously both teams. I think Burnley as well, who are in that relegation area. So it is a relegation battle type match, I think, between those two, and whoever comes out on top is going to have a massive advantage over the other, I think. But yeah, I have a strong positive vibe about Brantford keeping a clean sheet potentially in this game, as it is a home fixture of Everton and they play well at home. And Burnley, though, will put up a good fight, I think, because they do want to push out and try to stay in the Premier League this season. But moving on to last defender, that is Gabriel, who has Brighton away. And yeah, I'm always going to play Gabriel, I think, until the end of the season. I'm not even going to contemplate taking him out of my team as much as it is important for Arsenal to keep winning games and keeping, obviously, getting those 3 points each game for the title race. I still think Gabriel's still an important pick. I think Arsenal have the most clean sheets this season compared to other teams as well. So yeah, there's a lot of positive comments you could say about Gabriel, in where it's hard to really sell him or even bench him at this point. So even if there isn't a clean sheet against Brighton away, there's always that chance he can get maybe a goal from a header, provided for a corner, as Arsenal are good on corner set pieces. But moving on to the midfield, and now I've gone with a midfield 5, starting with Foden, who has Crystal Palace away. Now it's a huge boost that he comes away with a hat-trick, obviously, in the last game week. And yeah, I feel positive having him play against Crystal Palace away, who Crystal Palace again have struggled through the season, not really scored many goals. And again, Man City, it's important for them to keep getting the wins and the 3 points, and that does mean scoring goals. And there's no question in Foden in that sense. Hopefully, if he does play central positions, he is more favourable, I think, as an asset in FPL. But it does depend on where Pep obviously wants to play Foden, because he can play multiple positions. But yeah, I think it's a good fixture for him if you still have him. And I think some of you have considered bringing him back in after that hat trick. Well, let's move on to the next player, and that is Salah. He's got Man United away. Now, last time, obviously, Liverpool played Man United at Anfield, it was a draw. Surprising one, that there were no goals involved. But I don't know about this fixture. When they play Old Trafford, that could be a different story, because we know Salah likes to score against Man United. And I think that some of you may even potentially captain him. He has got the vice on him at the current moment. I don't think I will captain him, because it's not really clear what you're going to get from that game. So it's a very volatile captaincy. But I think it does help as well that Salah only played an hour in his last match. So yeah, we have to wait and see, but it should be a good game. So let's move on to Palmer. He's got Sheffield United away. Arguably one of the best fixtures of this game week again. So yeah, Palmer comes off with a hat trick. I believe he will be a popular captaincy as well, because that hat trick bolstered his obviously his form from that hat trick he scored against United. So yeah, he could be another good captaincy potentially this week. But I think for me, maybe not. But it's hard to know again what Chelsea are going to provide. But Sheffield United, I think it's going to be tough. They haven't got really much to play for, Sheffield, but there's no risk for them just trying to stop Chelsea getting that win, nonetheless, just for the pride. But again, another good game. But obviously, Saka's next in my midfield. He's got Brighton away, and he should be fine for that, even though he's got the yellow flag. Don't be put off by that at all. And yeah, again, he's similar to what I said about Gabriel. He's hard to sell, hard to get rid of because of his quality and what he can provide on penalties and his high ownership too. So yeah, again, we'll see what Saka does. And finally, to complete the midfield, it's Son, who's got Nottingham Forest at home. Hopefully, he can get me my a first return for me, as I did bring him in last game week. No, the game week before that, on game week 30, when I took a -4 to bring him in. He does have Nottingham Forest at home next, so it does give me a bit of confidence in that fixture, because Nottingham Forest do concede goals, and hopefully Spurs can put some behind them, and hopefully that is the man Son to do that. So let's move on to the front two. So Haaland has Crystal Palace away. He could be the underlooked captaincy for this week with his fixture, but again, I feel like Haaland has slightly dropped off of form, not only from him having blank game weeks, but just in regular weeks where he's been ticking along nicely with goals, but nothing significant like a double haul in recent game weeks. So yeah, I think I'm just happy to own him, but captain him. I think we're a bit more flexible now at the moment. Until we see Haaland put 3 behind Crystal Palace, then we might have a rethink of captaincies again. But moving on, and speaking of captaincy, this is my final player in the starting 11. That is Muniz, who has Newcastle at home. And you may be surprised he has the captaincy over him. And the reason why is I do want to go different with the captaincy again. And I feel like most likely he won't get that many popular picks as captain, as there is a variety of ones that you could pick from the midfield. So I'm going to take a little risk and go different with him as captain. He has got Newcastle at home, so I do like Fulham playing the home advantage over Newcastle's away form, which is it can be pretty bad at times, and especially when they've got a lot of injuries in their team as well. I feel like maybe Muniz can benefit from that, especially in that defence, because I do feel like it's vulnerable and Fulham will like that in terms of the attack. I feel like provide Muniz with a lot of opportunities to score in that game, so he will be my captain this week. I don't think that will change for this moment on until a deadline stream, so quite excited for it. Now, just briefly on the bench, there's not really much to talk about because Bell, Ake, and Herrera are ruled out for this game week, so that only leaves Semenyo on the bench, who's got Luton away. I think he will. One moment.
Yeah, I'll let you go get water. I'll just answer the question. We've got a comment here from Elika. I feel completely numb after last night. Didn't even have Palmer. Is Palmer a must-have now, or his luck most likely run out? I mean, if you haven't had Palmer since like game week 10, I think your rank must be destroyed because he's absolutely been killing it. I mean, I don't think his luck will run out. I think he's Chelsea's main man. He's on penalties. And yeah, I just think you have to have him in your team. I think he's one of those players now. He's like a must-have. I bought him in at 4.9 million. Looking back on it, and now he's the 5th highest scorer, I think, in the game. He's just overtook Salah, I believe. I know he's had a lot of penalties, but you got to be there to score. And I think, yeah, he's a must-have, really. So definitely, if you don't have him, bring him back in. You've missed out a lot of points on him, but yeah, for me, he's definitely a must-have. But it's going to be interesting to see next season, what his price and things are as well, because is he going to keep getting these penalties, which I don't see happening, but he's still a very good player, so you will still get your returns. And yeah, you were saying, Jordan.
Yeah, just to complete the starting 11, the bench, it's just Semenyo who's got Luton away. I think he's just there for bench cover in case anyone doesn't start in the 11. But I mean, it's not a bad fixture for him to come on for if there's any surprising benchings happening. But yeah, that's all I've got on the bench for the current moment. Obviously, there is some plans for transfers as well, followed by this.
Yeah, what's your transfer plans?
So yeah, if I go to my other screen, I'll just show you what I have in mind. So here's the team. I am thinking of taking out Ake, like I did originally say on the knee jerk, and bringing in Gusto for Chelsea because he has Sheffield United away. I think, yeah, it's a nice fixture. You never know what could happen in that game. Gusto can get an assist, maybe a clean sheet. It's unpredictable what Chelsea would do, but I do like having another Chelsea asset in there other than Palmer because obviously a lot of us have Palmer now. He's almost template or pretty much template. So having another Chelsea player for just that game week where they have Sheffield could be maybe a benefit. And I'm going to take a gut pick on Gusto to see what he can do in that fixture.
What defender are you going to bench then? Because obviously Brantford and Doughty have decent fixtures this week.
Yeah, I probably would bench Doughty. I think he's the one that I don't think will get much from his game this week. Even though he has a nice one against Bournemouth, I still think Solanke will probably put one behind him and he'll end up on like 2 points and nothing really much else. Even though it's a home fixture for Luton, I know they play really well, but I might bench him for Gusto. Maybe because of the fixture is much more better for him.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Obviously Gusto, I've got him as well, and no clean sheet recently since I bought him in for Chelsea. I mean, they are a bit leaky, but we'll have to see what happens with Chelsea in that game. Obviously, as you guys know, it's a team selection video. We haven't done a transfer tips for this week, so we're going to quickly run through a bit of transfer tips. So these are the most popular players in this game week. I thought I'd just show you guys who the most popular picks are and what we recommend you guys do as well. So Isak is actually the highest transferred in player for this game week so far. He's been transferred in by 361,000 of you managers. Foden's second. You got Palmer third, 8 Nuri, and then White. Looking at this list, the one that stands out to me is actually 8 Nuri. I think 8 Nuri, as an owner myself, getting the 8-pointer, I think he's one that, managers could be looking at to bring in. I think for me, he's a buy again. I know he was a buy last week, I think I said. I'm going to go 8 Nuri again. I know it's a bit boring. I've gone with him 2 weeks in a row, but I just like him. He's playing left wing, playing very forward. He's a defender, so he could get up there, get an assist or a goal or something like that potentially. And I think he's a decent pick. I know the fixtures longer term might not be the best, but I think he's a decent buy. Is there anyone else that you like the look of on this list that you think could be a buy or?
He's not currently in view, but I thought of Muniz, who plays against obviously Isak, because I feel like Newcastle away, it's always a bad fixture for them, what team they play, and maybe he can benefit from that. He's really cheap, Muniz. I think we're underestimating how much he is for the form he provides for them at the moment, and I feel like he might go big during that game. So he would be my buy for this week. I know I've mentioned him beforehand, not last game week, but game week before that. I still think he's still a decent asset to have. They have nice fixtures as well, long term, Fulham, and yeah, I think they tick along nicely, even though they haven't got much to play for. But that won't stop them obviously winning against Newcastle.
Okay, and these are the players on the list now that have been transferred out the most. So Watkins is top. Saka is surprisingly second, and 276,000 managers have transferred Saka out. And just for another news, Saka wasn't actually seen in training pictures today. So I don't know if that's a good thing. It probably is, because when we see him in training, he usually misses out. So it could be the opposite. And every time with Saka, when we hear that he's going to start, he doesn't. And when we hear he's going to start, that's what he does. So I don't know. But Saka apparently wasn't seen in the pictures. So again, 276,000 managers, that's a lot. So that if he plays, the ownership's still very, very high, but it's one to watch on Saka if we get any news. But yeah, I'd be looking to get rid of, obviously, if you've got Watkins, get rid. Saka, I would still hold, depending on news. If we hear that he's 100% out, I would sell him personally. If we get confirmation before the deadline. I think Douglas Luiz probably is a sell right now, even though he's got a decent fixture against Brentford. De Bruyne, I mean, I'd probably keep him, but it's a tough one. He's so much money. If you have him, he's only 12.6% owned. So I probably would get rid if it allows you to bring in a Salah or someone like that, because I don't know, people that own De Bruyne, if you don't have Salah, I'd rather have Salah personally.
Yeah, plus he might be rotated around as well, because Man City do play other competitions in between these.
Yeah. Well, he's been rotated, didn't he, against Villa? He didn't play a single minute, so he should play against Palace. But yeah, there is rotation there with the KDB.
So yeah, he could be one. Maybe you take out for someone that he's going to play definite, or one that's cheaper than De Bruyne, because he is expensive.
Yeah, and looking at obviously the ins, one player I would be avoiding this game week, I think Ben White. Probably I wouldn't be bringing him in. I don't know why he's had so many transfers in. He's actually the highest scoring defender in the game, I believe. So 121,000 transferred in, but you could double up on Arsenal's defense. But I personally, I don't know if you agree with me or not, I don't see many clean sheets coming up for Arsenal. I think they concede to Brighton. I can see them conceding to Villa. Wolves, it's a away game, so you never know. I don't see them keeping a clean sheet against Chelsea, Arsenal. I think Arsenal have a very tough fixture run coming up for the next 8 games. I don't see many clean sheets in there. It's just whether obviously they get the attacking returns. I don't know if I'd be bringing in. I like Odegaard as a pick, especially for the double in 34. I think the differential is a good pick.
And if we get a shocking lineup of Saka not playing, even provides Odegaard with more benefit, because we saw last game where Saka wasn't playing, Odegaard scored. So maybe that could happen again if it does turn out Saka's not on the squad again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I free hit, I'm going to have Odegaard on my free hit. against Wolves and Chelsea. He's owned by 17%, and he's going to be a good differential on a free hit, I think, for those that can get there. But yeah, I'd be looking to avoid Ben White. I still think Foden. I don't own Foden personally, but I think he's a good player still to have for the next two games, Palace and Luton. And then Brighton, obviously, is a single game week for Man City. Then after that, they will have a double. We know their double will come, I believe, around 37. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, in terms of players that we recommend you hold on to, in this list, I mean, Haaland's been transferred out by 77,000 managers. I don't see why. He's just been benched. He should
Might be
start
that.
against Palace, and I mean, surely you wouldn't be selling Haaland right now.
Yeah, I think it was that bench. Well, yeah, that benching it probably put people off. Maybe frustration that he didn't play any minutes, because usually when he does get benched, he does come on. Which was surprising he didn't play a single minute, and Pep didn't decide to bring him on.
Maddison, interestingly, has been transferred out by 72,000 managers, and Son has been transferred out by 66,000 managers. I still think the two Spurs guys are keeps for now. We know Spurs actually have a blank in 34, so you will have to, people have to navigate that, and their fixtures after that aren't great, but they do have a double, as we know, in 35, and that's a confirmed double today. It is a tough double for Spurs. It is Arsenal and Chelsea in a double and Gameweek 35, so it's a blank and then double. So I still would be holding Maddison and Son. I think Doughty is an interesting one. I probably would keep Doughty at the cheap sub still. I know when you look at the amount of sea of red, they've not won a game since game week 22. So
no, but it's the assists. I think that's why Doughty is a pick.
Yeah. 9 assists this season, but a lot of them, majority of them came during I believe from game week 20 to about 23. In that 3 game week period, he had 4 assists. He had 2 against Arsenal, to be fair to him, in game week 15. Arsenal, that 4-3 win. Late one they had. But Doughty, I'd probably keep him still. I wouldn't be buying someone like Alvarez, even though he did play 90 minutes. I don't think it's time to get him in. He's just too much of a risk. And yeah, Watkins, I think I wouldn't be bringing him in yet, even though he could be back. Brentford is a good game for him. He doesn't have any doubles coming up, but I still wouldn't be buying in Watkins right now.
Yeah, he might make bench and come on for a few minutes in that game, but starting, I very much doubt it straight away. I don't think Emery would take that chance of playing him right from the very start of that game.
Yep, and just a few more questions. We've got Elika. I was wondering about differentials and saw Ben Brereton listed as a midfielder and has a double game week 34. I just think there's other better midfielders, personally, for the double game week 34 with teams like Arsenal, Liverpool doubling. I'd rather have those players, but if you want to go different, why not? Evening, gents. Huss, who are you captaining? It's a tricky one, captaincy, for me, because I'm not sure, because I was set on Salah for a bit, but then I've kind of changed my mind today. I thought about it. I'm more leaning towards Palmer or Son over Salah right now, but I could change my mind. I'm probably thinking Son, I think Son's not going to be captained that highly, so I'm tempted with Son against Forest. But I think also Palmer is a great option, as well as Haaland. But it is a tough game with this week in terms of captaincy, because you can't really tell who's going to do well.
Yeah, we could see very variable amount of captain picks this week, because a lot of them have good fixtures. And I think after that last game week where we saw Palmer and Foden get hat tricks, either one of them, even Foden could be a nice captain pick for this week, just from that last game week's performances.
Thomas, is Ortega going to be City keeper for the rest of the season? No, I don't think he will, because Edison, I heard, is back soon. So, yeah, I wouldn't be banking on Ortega keeping his spot, because Edison will be back soon. I genuinely feel cursed. I bring in a player who's been killing it, and he just so happens to blank. Let us know who that is.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that when in my first season of fantasy. Any player I brought in would blank for me after a nice run, and I felt cursed as well during that period.
And James says, will Bradley play with Trent coming back? So, good question. Let's look at Liverpool's fixtures. So we know Liverpool are playing on Sunday against Man United. Trent will miss that game. I think that's pretty much been confirmed by Klopp and Liverpool. Trent will be back, though, possibly for Palace. He could be back. He's going to be back. I believe he will be back for Palace. Whether he starts against Palace, I'm not sure. But Trent should be all ready to go for that double in 34. And Trent is going to be a fantastic differential for those on a free hit. If he proves himself, if he starts against Palace, plays well, then for the double, I mean, if I know he's going to start both, he's 100% a lock in my team at his ownership with what he can do. But yeah, Trent, I think, will come back straight into the team. As good as Bradley has been, and Bradley's been excellent for Liverpool, if this is Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's one of the best players in the league, let alone for Liverpool. I think he's generally one of the best players in the league. So I don't see him being on the bench. So it's going to be interesting to see what Liverpool do. And Liverpool are actually in a very strong position right now because obviously they're top and they've got some key players coming back. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I've just mentioned, he's one of Liverpool's best players. You've got Jota, who was on fire before. He's coming back as well. Could be back for 34, which is going to be a great option on a free hit. And I think anyone else I'm missing? Someone else I think I'm missing that's coming back. I don't know. There's Alisson as well. Alisson could be back very soon as well. And we know, obviously, Liverpool, as good as Keller has been as well, Alisson, for me, is a whole nother level in terms of goalkeepers. So, yeah, these three players coming out for Liverpool are key. And I believe Trent will come back straight into the team. It's just they wouldn't want to rush him back. And I think they've not made that mistake because they are giving him time. Trent hasn't played for a couple of months, it feels like now. Maybe a month and a half, 2 months. So they don't want to rush Trent back. But let's see what happens in the Europa League. If Trent starts in the Europa League match, gets some minutes against Palace, then I think he's a good pick for the free hit. But yeah, Bradley's been great.
Yeah, they do have to be careful as well, Liverpool, because when these injured players do come back, they normally again have a reoccurring injury. So I think Klopp would want to obviously keep them fit at least until the end of the season, just so they can get Liverpool over that line and as well as win games at the same time to keep in that title race because they are in a good position and top of the table now over Man City and Arsenal. Yeah,
Trent hasn't played since Gameweek 25, so he's missed the last 6 league games. It's going to be 7 league games missed after he misses Man United. Now, I do think Liverpool are taking their time with him now, especially after Salah got re-injured coming back. So I don't think they'll make the same error with Trent. But I think the Palace is the target date for his return. So we'll have to wait and see if he starts that one. But I think that's everything, guys, in regards to team selection and also quick little transfer tips, who to bring in, who to avoid sort of thing. Either quick turnaround. We're back again tomorrow for a stream at 10 a.m. Either an 11 a.m. deadline, I believe. So make sure you guys do tune in for the deadline stream. Should be a good one. But yeah, I think that's it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you have, hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well, guys. If you are enjoying the content, really appreciate all your support recently. It just motivates us to carry on and making the content for you. So do hit the like button. Much appreciated. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan?
Thank you guys for watching. As always, it's always appreciated. A little bit different. It's obviously the stream, but it's been a fast turnaround in terms of content. But yeah, tune in for the deadline stream tomorrow. It should be fun. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your week as well.